How did you get to know him? You still remember
Okay.
kailan tayo unang nagkita?
When then President Eddie, I will call him President Eddie, you joined Army, or graduated from West Point. He was admitted to the PM AAA, but since there was no class 45 to 51,
To 15.
he became plus 51 of PMA, and he willingly got adopted. And
By your class.
by the AFP lineal roster, he became what you call our lead graduated lieutenant, second lieutenant. While we graduated, he graduated from West Point September of 1950. We were graduated from PMA in February of 1951. So that's a little few months ahead of him. But that's why in our lineal roster of second lieutenant of the armed forces of the Philippines, we always say AD, pardon our saying, but we were all second lieutenant.
Yeah.
So when we got to know when cadet lieutenant or Lieutenant Fidel B. Ramos, he refused to be identified except that we call him Eddie.
Okay.
From our second lieutenant here. He joined up likewise with the Philippine Expeditionary Force to Korea, where some of my classmates were also taken in ahead of our group in several groups that was of class 51 that was then scheduled to join the President of Japan, Philippine Expeditionary Force to Korea.
Did you get to be friends? I mean, when
Not really. At this time, we know that, Lieutenant Ramos.
may reputation ba? Did he have what kind of reputation did he have among his soldiers in the unit in Peco?
One of the things that will determine as to what position our officers is going to be is your training. Like, for example, in my case, I was more or less with operation and training the soldiers. So I preferred to be assigned with the unit right away. That's what I learned from the career of President Eddie. Likewise, he was almost in the troops all the time, airborne, special forces, and when most of us were already taken in the staff of the headquarters, he was already in GHQ staff. He was in GHQ staff initially with the intelligence unit, and eventually with the home defense. That was a group of home defense warfare in other words, and President Eddie was there. So eventually, we learned much later on that he got projected to much higher position. The latest one, when we were almost all on the field grade rank, like a lieutenant colonel. So he was much ahead, and we noticed that he was already with the office of the Presidential Assistant on Military Affairs. In other words, the OPAMA in Malacanang. So, ibig sabihin medyo, sabi namin, malapit na kami sa presidente. Ano na si Edie?
Batchmate,
But it was easy.
So it was he was a star.
Yeah,
right.
Okay. Now, among all us in the class 51, he was one of those who got his start much ahead of us, even before the so-called martial law, 1972. So he was already general 5 years earlier, much earlier. Yes. Okay. About 60, 68, 55, like that. Because we noticed that projection was always on the much higher level of command and responsibilities.
Because he was he caught the eye of his superior officers.
Yes, actually became likewise and senior editor to the chief of staff at the time. Yeah. I don't remember now about the chief of staff was, but one of our senior officers. And much earlier, at the time that he was still a captain and a major, he was the senior defense attaché to the chief of staff of the armed forces of Philippines. In other words, my own personal perception was he was really groomed for some higher position likewise.
Did you ever imagine at that time that he would become president?
Not immediately, but let me narrate to you some personal observation since although prior to his being president, frankly, I didn't have a very close association with him, except to look up to him as, oh my God, this guy is to bring Class 51 out there. Sometimes he just be there. But then, I think the situation or the situation in the country, in the leadership, in the presidential political aspect of the leadership in the Philippines came to some kind of a change when in President Ferdinand Marcos was elected.
Yeah.
And then, although we admit that the leadership and the president at the time Ferdinand Marcos was the leader, we have some kind of a movement even in the armed forces. We were given much importance, and I will always remember since at the time that President Marcos was has declared already a Martin Marshall, and I had my start likewise, but later on before the so-called September 21. No,
Declaration.
declaration of martial law. I was already Brigadier General. So I had the command of my own, and I noticed that while we in the armed forces, you and I particularly in Flat 51, respect the fact that the most ranking military officer at that time was President Eddie.
Okay.
Yeah, he was ranking, and he was already three-star general, and we really thought that he would become eventually the chief of staff, somebody who will be right there with the president, with the confidence of the president. But then, because of preferential personal decision of the president at that time, President Marcos designated Fabian Moguel as the chief of staff or star general.
So na-bypass si...
No bypass, yes, definitely. And I'm sure somehow in that instant, although he accepted as a good soldier to be chief of constabulary after coming from becoming a commanding general of the Philippine Army, which was already a 3-star, he was relegated to be a chief Philippine constabulary. And actually, at that time, at that instant, our own perception was, ay, kawawa naman si Eddie. Hindi naging chief of staff. Right there with President Marcos. Because it was Fabian there, who is an ROTC graduate, who is an integrate in the armed Philippines. And yet, as well, that was a personal choice of the president, incumbent president.
Could that have played...
Yeah, we are sure that at that particular situation, President Eddie was just a good soldier and just followed orders from the president.
You retired 7...
We were retired even during while the martial law was still on in 1977. So almost all of us were in the class of 1951. You know,
Oh.
kami kasi be the first post-war class upon graduating 1951. The law which implemented our retirement was Republic Act 340.
Okay.
Therefore, 340 says our retirement and service to the military will begin from the time we entered the academy, which was 1947. That was right. All of us, we retired 1977, class of 1951. That's it. Kami, we were the first post-war class to the academy, except President Eddie, President General Tony Abbott, General Delfin Castro. General Delfin Castro was in the Southern Command. So he was needed, I think. General Abbott was the commanding general of Philippine Army, was later replaced by another ROTC integrity. But he was given a position he was sent to China. After that.
How did you continue the connection with FVR?
Okay. When FVR were then already martial law came in. The end of martial law came in, and they said that it was a people power revolution and all that. Let's get a background to that. Maybe a different one from what was written all over. When Secretary Freeland and President Eddie was already in Camp Crowley, they were just enclosed there. One of the guys that sympathized with them was the brother of the late Ninoy Aquino.
Yeah.
Si Kwan. But
Yeah.
ano nangyari? Ganito, so I think we need some help from the one. He called up Cardinal Chin. Cardinal Chin, please, help us. Maybe we are all here and we don't know where to go from here. Cardinal Chin went on television and radio and said, my brothers and sisters, let us go to Camp Crowley and help our soldiers that are there. They might be massacred.
Did you get to connect with FBR at that time? Did you go to...
No, at that time, I was already retired.
Yeah. Right.
I was already with the Finance Ministry Intelligence Bureau. This was an intelligence bureau of the Ministry of Finance. It was organized. So I retired 1991 and left John Monte with the Economic Intelligence and Investigation Bureau, which was then restored because then it became the Department of Finance, under the Department of Finance. But consider that John Monte did a lot of change in Chaparat, what is presently known medyo mabulo ng konti. Because Economic Intelligence and Investigation Bureau was already the anti-smuggling, the anti-money laundering, the anti-drug, and all the anti that you can think of. In other words, helping the Department of Finance to generate, that was the only reason, to generate more income for the government. Control customs, control drugs, and everything.
Tumulong ka ba? Did you help in the campaign? Tumulong ka ba? Did you help out in the...
Only to parat being able to convince my partner, don't forget, President. Atin yan. Something like that. My neighbors, like that.
In your own circle. What's he like? And
ito,
how long? 6 decades.
Well, I would say that not just maybe it started when we were airborne and you were a cake. Ang tawag niya sa akin, Tiger. I don't know why. Maybe my boys are like that too. Well, for real, he noticed I do much more very active or things like that. Here's one incident that I can never forget. We had a visitor to lay reef from the American at the pep talk pilot ng Dilibigan ng mga bayani. And the guest of honor was our ambassador, former ambassador. But President Eddie, despite his having basta may mga ganon, pep talk, at PMA, nandun siya. So, even if he was only one of the guests, but not the special guest of honor, and the guest of honor was the ambassador, nandun siya. So, when I was tasked to introduce the guest of honor, naturally, the first thing that you do is pay respect. Friend, we are happy that no less than our President Eddie, is here with us. You know what? He interrupted. My classmate, sabi niya. Yes, my classmate. He interrupted me and said, my classmate.
Repay. And he seems to enjoy those encounters, that you guys come to the. How often do you meet these days? Marami pa ba from pep talk na?
No more. I am very lately, especially he's not able to move around very much in time. But almost invitation wherein we had a special guest from Korea at the pylon. Oh yes, there was one incident like we were invited to the 60th anniversary of the Korean War at Seoul. And we were asked to have at least 2 delegations from the top.
Okay.
One led by no less than President Eddie, and the other one led by the Undersecretary Carolina.
Okay.
I happened to be with the group of President Eddie. So, naka-jacket kami na pep talk me. Nung nakita niya kami, oy, alin kayo, dito sa jacket namin, sinulat niya rin, sa akin, Tiger Mike. A president recognizing and things like that very close, and whenever we had that particular visit, it's very rewarding, or how do you say it? Look, President, tayo dyan, malapit tayo dyan, very, very heartwarming.
At walang distansya, no? He's one of the boys.
Whatever. And even Our Lady, he always had a very, very, I would say, a happy moment when we have our annual fellowship with our first court. Almost every lady that our class 51, 52, 53, 52, kilala niya. Of course, you got it around. Eddie. I did not call him President. Our ladies did not call him President. Kilala niya.
First name na Eddie na
lang. First name. Our lady called him, kami na lang ang medyo there, President. Yun.
Yeah.
Hindi namin Hindi na namin masyadong Eddie.
What makes it that way? I mean, is it a bond that was, I don't know, that was forged in war?
I think so. I mean, it's the camaraderie. Oh, yes. President Eddie is one of only 5 PMA alumni that was awarded the so-called Lifetime Achievement Award. Oh, Lifetime Achievement Award. Although I was not there at the time that he was awarded. That was way back 2013.
Okay.
Among those that were awarded is General Yan. General Yan. Bago siya, General President Fidel B. Ramos. Then General Abat. Okay, dahil ko na and Abat. The other one is still around, the Colonel Cesar Pobre, the academician who has been the professor.
What do you remember? Meron ka bang ano? Is there a special memory you have of him, of FVR? Na kayong dalawa, personal lang sa inyong dalawa. Oh,
Parang lang, everything has been always, pag nandun siya, siya talaga ang kwan. At hinahanap niya ang worker president. At ito na ako, sir. Yung ganun.
he takes every opportunity actually to be involved with the PEF talk, ano, the
At this time, we inform them much ahead of time that there are activities in PEPCO, and we do this through our regular administration, our assistant, our secretary, court team of Sam, you're among the one. Dating ako dyan. Dating ganun. It's part of our PM3A, PMA first bar. Ako talagang tatawag ka na.
ikaw yung in charge.
I'll be there, Mike. Ako ang tatawag sa kanya. That's how I got to know him. He gets to know me, right? Lahat ng mga publication niya sa politik, meron na po pupya. May file this. That's all about FVR.
And you drop by the office ever so often.
But like,
Kwentu-kwentuhan kayo.
sometimes I do that. It is only this time na medyo transportation.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
You're two old friends who like
I like very much. And just because even my wife said, "Oh, do we have ako?" Kasi my wife, that's another. Let me narrate a personal experience. And you know that I am one of the 5 + 51 that married in the afternoon of our graduation.
What?
5 kami.
Okay.
And my wife at that time, after graduating 1951, my wife was the chief nurse in our hospital in the academy. Sabi nga nila, ito si wife, pabilis. But anyway, we got to be understand each other and things like that. So Eddie, President Eddie knew Karim as my first wife. So that when the next time he told me, and I have a much younger visit, sana yung one, Hannes. Sir, he died. Di ko alam yun so, this is the youngest + 51.
Oo nga naman.
The youngest + 51. And every time we are in a social like that, and I have my wife then, here comes the youngest + 51. My wife. I happen to remarry.
Yeah. Well, we met your wife. What do you think? Generally, I end the interview with the question of the interviewee. What do you think was his greatest contribution as a soldier, as a public servant?
I would say that one of the contributions which President Eddie did was leadership, the value of leadership. In other words, he typified a leader from a company or a platoon to a battalion commander, because he went through that grade. A platoon leader of only about 30 men, a company commander of 120 men, a battalion of about 500. And he simplified this by having to be there at any time, especially at the time of difficulty. Hindi nata na kwento, I don't know if I based it on some personal narration to that. Because while I was not with the 20th PCT, several of my classmates who were there testified that President Eddie was responsible for Hill Erie, the retake of Hill Erie, which was part of the defense area established by the Philippine Expeditionary Force of Korea. The situation was at that the first battalion that was there was the 10th BCT. And it was always that when the new Pepto battalion takes over, they occupy practically the same area where the old Pepto battalion was. There in that area, along Yangon Valley, 10th BCT suffered 120 men. Oh, 120 men. And one of that, when the 20th BCT took over, they almost did. But with President Eddie, they were able to retake the Hill Erie, which was one of those in Korea, kasi mga bundok-bundok yan eh. They designate hills one, so hill one. So if that is occupied by the enemy, lagot kayo, so you have to take it. I was informed, or I knew, and I read, President Eddie, one of those, it was ordered to take over and recover Hill Erie from the enemy, which he did. Something in his biodata, I know that he received some kind of legion of something from Korea because of that achievement, and also the United States. Talagang leadership, I would say that leadership, that's how he got to be, maybe, got to be president.
And he brought it.
Marami sa amin will remember him all the time.
And he brought it with him up to when he became
President too.
Thank you very much.
Okay yan?
Salamat. Thank you very much, sir.
I enjoyed it. I mean, talking about the McCann, but even if I think he typified that with it. And with kami, yung aming board, yung aming idol, naging presidente. And even,
Parang naging idol nyo.
idol talaga. Idol talaga. Kaya, sabi na namin, wala nang ibang presidente na talagang yung kanyang perception, yung kanyang attitude, yung kanyang the way or speak for, no, malayo yung mga presidente.
Well, maybe because it was a life spent training to become a leader, to lead, to manage organization.
The training or the how a person had been brought up to that level as he got in his career is probably one reason AD will stand out as one of those that we will look forward to. There is not a single, unlike what we have been observing, that will diminish what you think about. Several presidents, ay ato ba yun? Bakit nagkaroon na? President Eddie, si President Paul Kanan. I'm glad to be part of. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Salamat.